Migl.
Migl.
Yeah.
All right, we are live with Troy Migl. I didn't want to butcher your name. I had to ask you before we hit live. And you're from
I was pretty,
Pennsylvania, right?
me,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania?
No,
No,
yeah. No, you're
South, South Texas.
South Texas. I was
Yeah.
talking to a guy from Pennsylvania today, and he said he didn't want to get on because you don't want to talk about treeing bears when you can't tree bears.
Yeah.
I tried to get him on. I said, we all talk about all the stuff we don't. So it's Chris, Anecdote of a Houndsman, Wednesday night, free casting. We got Troy from South Texas. We just had, do you know Cody King, who he is?
Yeah. I know who he is. I've never met him, but
We
I
had him
know.
on our live Monday night. So that guy just
Yeah.
has stories all day long, and he has some cool kennels. If you look him up on Facebook or Instagram, I don't know if he has Instagram. I know he has a Facebook, but you look him up
Yeah.
on Facebook, and his kennels are ridiculous. He's building right now,
Yeah.
ridiculous. But we had him on. He's going to go do some Jaguar uh, tagging and all kinds of stuff in Mexico here soon. Brett Vaughn's supposed to go do some run around with the guy who does that, do a story on him. So that's going to be interesting. Missy's here, Molly's here. So, well, why don't you tell us a little about yourself? I met you on Instagram, so that's all I know is whatever pictures you got.
Not much to tell. I born here in Texas and been here pretty much most of my life. Come from my family of hunters. My grandfather on my mother's side ran greyhounds, and my grandfather on my dad's side ran beagles, and then my dad ran coonhounds forever.
You said the magic word, beagles. Missy fixed. I don't know if you can see the comments yet. If you go up, there's a little comment bar above your screen on the right, I believe. You could click, push on, and it'll show you the comments. Missy Fix is a beagle girl, beagle gal, beagle woman. She's on. She's always on. She runs, I think she's in Oregon, runs rabbits and stuff.
I got you. Yeah, I grew up around them and had hounds for most of my life, and ran with back in the old days when all the guys we had probably had 10, 15 dogs, and you just dumped the box and run coons, and it was just part of it. And then I got out of it when I went to working on offshore boats, and then finally came back. And my daughter, when she got old enough to where she could ride along with me, we started hunting again, and we've been hunting pretty much for the last 15 years solid. But this last year, work's gotten so busy, I hadn't been able to go as much as I want to, but we finally slowed down a little bit. And in fact, I'm going to go Saturday night and run the dogs.
I had another guy try to get on here, but he was coon hunting tonight. He didn't want to give it up, I guess. Well, you mentioned how old were you when you went on your you said you went offshore fishing, or what was that?
Yeah, I was probably I was 30, I guess, and guy just a friend of mine worked on an offshore boat, and he asked me if I wanted to go to work on one, and I said, yeah, I'll try it. And I'd fished offshore here because we're only from my house to the saltwater is only about 40 minutes.
You like by Galveston, that area?
The easiest way to explain it is we're 2 hours south of Houston, we're 2 hours east of San Antonio, and we're 2 hours north of Corpus Christi.
Nice.
We're kind of right in the middle of everything. Yeah, I went to work on an offshore boat in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, and worked on that boat for a while, and then switched to another boat and fished the Pacific and the Atlantic for probably 17 years.
You have to have some good stories for that.
Oh yeah.
We don't talk much about fishing, but you have to have like give me a good story. One of your most you think about when you think about fishing on those boats, something that happened. Everybody loves stories.
For me, it's always the like the Honduran Navy or the Guatemalan Navy, and how they're trying to catch drug runners, and it's just always I mean, we got pulled over basically by a Guatemalan Navy boat, and it was funny. We had to pull up alongside the ship, and it's like a little miniature destroyer, and the guy out on deck and pulls the cover off that double barrel 50 caliber, and it was just like in the movies. He racked it back, and we could hear it clear as a bell, and I thought, oh man, we're gonna die here, but it was just no big deal. Just another
checking the boat.
Checking the boat, checking the papers. But it's most of that kind of stuff, just the navies. They were just the ones we always had to deal with.
Yeah. It had to be a fun job though. So why'd you get out of it? Just got bored?
Yeah, my daughter was getting a little older, and I'd be gone for months at a time. And so I came back, and when I came back, I went to work on a boat that stayed here in Texas, and the guy that owned the boat had a whitetail ranch also. And so I ran the boat during the summer and then ran the ranch for the whitetail hunts during the winter and guided whitetail hunts there. And then he got old, and they were going to sell the ranch. So I came back home and went back to welding, and now I'm a foreman at a shop here.
Nice. Go home, get to go home every night. And you get to hunt.
Yeah.
Rowdy showed up.
Yeah, I made it this time.
No calls. Well,
yeah.
So everybody knows I had guests lined up last time, and everybody I forgot we're an hour behind or ahead. So I told everybody 5, and we were on the same time schedule. And everybody was texting me like, hey, you're already off the air. I'm like, oh, you guys are an hour behind. I think Nevada is an hour behind, right? Nevada.
Yeah.
Got to watch how I say it. Yep. You made it this time. Good deal. We got Troy. We got Troy from South Texas.
Nice to meet you, Troy.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Rowdy, who's from Nevada. So, trying to kill some lions over there. Troy just got a lion in New Mexico.
That was actually a buddy of mine shot. I was just along for the moral support.
Nice. Still nice to walk into the tree, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's just so different from down here. I mean, beautiful country. Of course, it's hard to breathe for a flatlander, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah, Cody King talks about I think he's from South Texas too somewhere.
Yeah.
But he talks about how many bobcats, brags about how many bobcats he has.
Yeah, we got a bunch of them. It's just like where I'm at here we're kind of on the coastal plains, and there are a few of them, but not that many. If I run the dogs every night, I'll tree one every 2 or 3 weeks. That's about it for me.
I found a little honey hole this last week. I went cruising through there, and 5 different tracks in about, 6 miles.
Nice.
So that's the most I've ever seen. I put out after 2 toms and had some good races, but dogs, it was only the first time that my dogs actually got bobcats jumped. Usually what happens is the snow melts out by the time I find them and actually get the track rolling, then the sun breaks out of the clouds and melts the tracks away.
And that snow hunting is pretty neat. I was really stoked to finally get to see that. I'm down here.
It makes it so much more fun and easier. I take that back. Not makes it more fun, but it's more exciting because you see the track, you know what it is, you know which way it's going, and then you can.
What do they call it?
At a run.
Cheater dust.
Cheater dust, yeah.
Cheater dust.
Well, that's the only way I can catch them right now.
Hey, if you can catch them, you can catch them. So I guess
that was us up there. I mean, we got in the mountains and finally got in the snow, and he was just like, "There's a track, there's a track, there's a track." Like, man, this is. I mean, we'd never seen nothing like that down here.
That was lion tracks, or that was like just tracks in general?
It was on the reservation in New Mexico.
I got you. Yep. Yeah, I
They got
hunt the
a lot of
BLM
lions.
some national forest out here, and it's a lot less animals than everywhere else. So I drive a long ways before I even cut a track. Lots of fox, lots of coyote.
How often do you get snow over there, though, Rowdy? Like, you get a lot of snow, or is it you get a dusting and then it goes away?
Yeah, dustings and then goes away. So the bigger mountain ranges, they got big shadow casts. Then those north slopes will stay most of the winter. But what happens is it just ends up crusting over, so you can't really drive through it. You got to hike through it or have some kind of a tracked vehicle. But the closer you get to the Sierra Nevadas, right there, basically Reno south down to the White Mountains. If you wanted to hunt snow most of the year, there's snow, or most of the winter, there's snow in those. And this year's been kind of a dry year, so we've barely just gotten a couple storms. There's a storm hitting right now. It's actually snowing out there, but yeah, I'm at work, so I can't hunt.
There's a guy asking if you ever fish out the Pacific Northwest. There.
No,
I never have.
You was all south, weren't you?
I was all South Mexico, Central America, both sides.
Warm weather.
Yeah, warm weather for sure.
I mean, I've fished along the California coast several times, off the piers. That's free fishing off the piers. Taking a couple chartered boats out, just rock fishing. But I can't say that I've ever been anything more than rock.
Yeah, we were just most of the boats I fished on were just tuna, sailfish, marlin.
Well, that'd be fun right there.
Yeah,
it's always
fun
until a dream of mine.
Fun until you have to do it every day as a job, right?
Sure.
It never got old.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, excuse me. It's been a dream of mine to go up there and do the salmon and halibut fishing up out of Alaska.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, go throw crab pots in the morning, go out fishing, come back, hunt bears or deer in the evening, pull up the crab pots after dark or before dark.
Well, Jeremiah said it's -12 and we're cutting on sleds all night in the cheater dust. You can keep that. You can keep that -12 crap.
That sounds rough.
You know what? I'll stick to not catching something for a month down in the desert where the coldest it is 30 degrees.
-12. That's a little. I don't know how. We don't even have clothes for that kind of weather.
Yeah, I don't have a t-shirt thick enough.
Yeah.
Warm water. If you fall in, you can swim.
Yeah, that southern
12 degrees.
I think Timothy used to fish too. He just said up here, he just told my life story because Troy was talking about fishing. You fished for how many years? You fished for?
17 years,
17?
I think.
Oh man.
And then, so now you're done fishing.
I'm
Came
done.
back. Daughter's old enough.
Yeah. And buddy of mine bought a house in Colorado and invited me up there. And I'd never seen mountains other than in Mexico and that. And I mean, where we're at right now, we're 60 feet above sea level. And my house is on the highest hill on our side of the county. And I think I'm at 70 feet. And he took me to Colorado and I was just amazed, absolutely amazed. And
it's gorgeous. I love Colorado.
And told my daughter, we came back and somebody had sent me about a coon hunt in New Mexico. And I told her, I said, let's pack the dogs up and go. And actually my good Gyp, she was pregnant, but my male had got in the pen and I didn't know exactly when she got bred. And I knew she was close, but I thought, well, we can make it for a day or two. And she wound up having the pups there in New Mexico. And some guys there were like, hey, I'll buy a pup from you. Well, heck yeah. And so I wound up selling the whole litter there in New Mexico. And 8 weeks later, drove back and delivered puppies. And
Nice.
now I think I've sold 4 litters in New Mexico. And it just pays for my trips to go out to the mountains now.
Contaminating. You're contaminating New Mexico with your black and tans is what you're doing.
Oh, you got black and tans. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all you have, Troy?
Yeah, that's all I raised now, black and tans. I've had them all. I really like red ticks. They're one of my favorites, but I'm just kind of stuck with black and tans because that was kind of family history for us.
Yeah. Is there a certain line you run?
Right there.
Yeah. There's an older man here in Texas that has them, and he can trace his bloodlines back to the 50s, and they go back to Hulk and Batman and all that. And he's been, I mean, he confuses me when I talk to him. He just spits out bloodlines and bloodlines, but all mine come from that Hulk and Batman, black and tan.
And you're hunting bobcats there in what all do you hunt there in Texas?
I mainly 95% run coons.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Like I was telling him, I have a male that'll trash on bobcats, and I'll run a bobcat every now and then with him.
Yeah.
But my
female
won't crash on nothing.
Good.
I know when he's on a bobcat, she comes back to the truck, and he's still going. So, but that's about it. Just coons most.
We'll take those trashy dogs, right, Rowdy? Trashy bobcat dogs.
If they're hunting, they'll hunt anything, you know?
We'll take them. We'll take them trashy ones.
And you know, it's funny. Before I ever went to the mountains, I mean, I was mad when they would trash on bobcats. And now I've got a little 10-month-old pup I've held back, and I keep pushing her to run cats. Maybe one day I'll get enough to go back up the mountains and run some cats myself. Bobcats there were like where y'all are at are so much prettier than ours. Ours barely have spots and real thin.
Yeah, I mean I've never even killed one in Nevada. It's something I've been trying to do this is the second year. Last year I ran a couple, but it was like I said, I'd start to track about 8 or 9 o'clock, start moving it for about an hour or 2 hours, and then might be getting close to it, or it's out walking in front of us, and then the snow would melt off, and then be SOL for the rest of the day. So I just head back home at 11 o'clock noon. But this year I'm gonna keep hitting this little hole that I found these 2 toms because that was a fun time. One tom, he was the biggest track I've seen in a while. It was, I don't know, probably 2/3 the size of a Copenhagen can. And then put the dogs out on him. He had to have been 100 yards off the road when I cut the track, and then I decided I was going to run the road out, see if I could find a lion track, come back, and I'm just going to throw out on it. So I put out on it. Dogs took off after a minute. They didn't want to take it at first, but then finally I walked them out the track and got them running on it. And about a half mile later, they had it up and running. It ran half a mile up the mountain, made a bunch of loops in a rock pile and all about top of the hill there. And then the younger dog, he's been quitting tracks and is making me mad. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. But his older brother, he kept with it. And I gave him about an hour and a half. He just kept making loops up there in that rock pile, and I figured he slipped out on him. So at that point, it was about 10 o'clock at that time. I went and grabbed him, and during that whole time, I had two other dogs that I put out on a track, and they cold trailed it. I don't know. I lost service with them for a bit because I went around the mountain, but every bit of a mile, and they got it. they got it jumped and turned coming down the ridge. I took this old mine road out in front of it, cut it off, ran it back up to them, and then the dog that I walked in with them on that got it up and running after about 30 minutes, and it just lit out of there a solid mile at a full dead run up the side of a mountain, gained almost 1,000 foot in elevation in 3 to 5 minutes,
Mm.
and then went to a rock pile, made some loops, and lost that young dog. So
You ducked down in a hole.
yeah, I mean, I could have been. I don't know. I didn't hike that 1,000 foot up. It was a full mile and 1,000 foot elevation climb. I was like, yeah, I'll let that one dog
You know what?
figure it out on her own.
You know what makes a good houndsman? The best houndsman you'll find is someone who don't want to be home or don't need to be home or don't care to be home and just drops
Out there with the dog.
Just drops the track. And 75% of your catches is you tell stories are like, well, I wasn't gonna run it, but I'm like, F it. I'm gonna drop them. And then they end up catching one, or it's just a fluke where they're like, we're not gonna catch it. And then they do.
That's a 3-day-old track, but I'll go let him try it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a 3-day-old track. If he has a kill there, he may not left 100 yards after that 3-day-old track.
Yeah.
Exactly. I had found a track in the snow and called the buddy because it went on the res, and he got there, and that line was bedded up 100 yards, 50 yards past I walked, because I didn't walk on the res because it was trespassing. Anyways, 50 yards past where I walked out and was walking tracks.
He was listening to you walk.
He had a kill down there, and he was just hanging out. So we left. It was night. I called him. He got there at 1 a.m, sat on that track. He sat on it till light, let go, and caught and jumped that line 50 yards after my tracks.
Dang, that's cool though.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. Reservation. I'm like, man, I was 50 yards from that sucker. And I had a cousin with me, and he says, you think he's close? He's kind of scared. It's getting dark. No, this one's gone. I told him later, hey, I don't cat was about 50 yards from you. Never went with me again. But that's what makes a good houndsman, I think. I think if any houndsman just sees a track on the way home from getting a gallon of milk, and he's took his dogs anyways, and he don't get back home for 3 days, and he's divorced. That's you're going to see a good houndsman.
Yeah, the milk's done curdled in the back seat.
Here's your cottage cheese.
Yeah. As much as I want to be that guy, I like my wife and kids,
Oh, yeah. I'm the same way sometimes.
I got lucky. My daughter loves it. I mean, just absolutely loves it. And she'll drop anything to go hunting. So,
well,
awesome.
My daughter's remodeling my guest house right now, so they're living at my house. Got tired of the city living, tried it, didn't like it, came home. And next week I'm going down to hunt with Jared Fisher on some lion hunts down in Tucson. And we were going to come up here where it's snow, but these guys are coming out of Texas, and I don't know if they're going to have the roads closed or how many people are up here. So he has a good hill down south. So we're going to go. Now, so my daughter's like, oh, I'll go with you. I'm like, don't you got to work? I did. I don't know more. So she's going with me down there because she wants to go. So we'll take the mules and dogs down there next week. So.
Oh, you're going to spoil Jared. You going to let him ride one? You can make him walk.
I don't know yet. We'll see. I only got 2 mules, and we got 3 guys to take hunting. So I'll take one guy. He'll get butt sore, and then I'll take the next guy. Most of them guys, they don't ride every day. I don't know.
Yeah.
If they're cowboys or not. They get in them saddles and they're excited to go. They put on the chaps and they get going. And a couple hours later, like, so I'll do some small circles with them. Yeah. And then I'm sure
instead of standing up.
So I'm sure me and my daughter will jump on and we'll make some real big circles, and we'll be all right. So.
Yeah, there's no seat heaters on them mules.
No, there's not. Absolutely not. But it's down South Arizona, so it's a little warmer. We won't be in a foot of snow. It's supposed to snow tonight and in the morning here, North Arizona. So I don't know. This is no lie. Last night I called Jared and I said, "Hey man," I broke my GPS. I did. I had putting a dog up, it ran off, and I reached over to grab him, and I had a long range antenna on it, and it broke my antenna screw off the top of it. My antenna broke off, and it broke the screw.
So the screw's down inside.
Yeah, it broke that little screw piece that you screw onto.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
I'll be back using I have my 220, and Jared has a couple extra. He has an Alpha 10, but I don't know the area. But he says, you don't need to know the area. It's all earshot. Okay.
As long as you can keep up.
Yeah, my dogs are going to be Mexicans by end of the trip. I guarantee it, because we're not that far from the border. So
running Jaguars down in Guatemala, huh?
You guys hear about that? Old Jason Miller caught that on camera.
I heard about that. I didn't know much about it.
Go to YouTube, look up Jason Miller Outdoors or Jason Miller Jaguar. That guy's been running cameras. He even said because of the whole Arizona camera ban, well, it's not you're just not allowed to use them to hunt. Basically, you can still have cameras, but he quit hunting this year. I believe he said he was going to quit hunting this year, and thought his service was going. So he just has cameras everywhere. That guy has great videos. Go to Jason Miller Outdoors. He should be sending me something for plugging him so much, but he should. And it has that Jaguar on it, and he talks about it, and he's excited. You could tell this dude is like, I've been trying to catch a Jaguar my whole life, and he did. He got that Jaguar, and it's a pretty Jaguar. So, and now there's a bunch of drama all over everywhere, Facebook, YouTube, all that crap about it. So, yeah, check out Jason Miller Outdoors if you guys want to see that Jaguar. It was last week.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
A couple weeks ago. So,
it's not that same one that they nicknamed, is it? Is it a new one?
It's a new one.
Oh, it is.
Can we hear you, Troy? I think you're on mute. Did you hit mute? I'll have to do sign language. Can you hear? You can hear us, right?
Yeah, he can hear us.
I don't think I muted him. No.
That's always something that I hear, reading all the stories and the podcasts and all that about the Jaguar hunting. I'd kind of be afraid to get my mutts on one. Freaking, I'd lose every single one of my little soft mutts.
Can we hear you yet, Troy?
Oh, the Chagas kissing bug thing. That's something I've been hearing about the last couple of years, but I don't know anybody specifically that's had a dog get the kissing bug thing. But wasn't that you that was talking about it the other day with Brett?
Monday night. Yeah. Can we hear you yet, Troy?
Yeah, Monday night.
Maybe log off and jump back on, and I'll add you back. Just re-log back on if you can hear me. There you go. No, I never heard of that Chagas either, but he's saying it's making its way in the United States. He says,
is it like coming out of Mexico or something, or like what?
I guess so. It's a South America deal. South Texas, I guess, has it a lot.
Huh.
Come on, Troy. Troy had some good stories.
Well, they can keep
that
hit mute Chagas.
And they don't get rid of it either.
Yeah.
All right, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Gotcha.
I don't know what happened.
I could hear y'all fine, but I don't know what I did, if I did anything.
Maybe your wife muted you because she didn't want to hear you.
Yeah, lucky for me, I'm one of those.
So, Troy, you're from Texas. You heard from Chagas?
No.
Like the disease the dogs get? Chagas? Is that what it's? I think that's what it's called. I looked it up. It's they call it the kissing bug because I guess like the breath of your mouth. Yeah, and then it'll bite you in your mouth, and then you get some weird disease. The dogs will get it. It can be transferred to humans.
They saying it was is it a disease or a parasite from them? kissing bug?
I haven't heard of that.
I know it's like they get it from the feces of it.
Huh.
I looked it up. You have to look it up. The chagas bug.
Yeah.
No, but I guess it's not. It's a parasite. I knew Brarely would come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's uncurable, I guess. That's what he was
That
saying.
sucks. What do you say? Kills 30%, cripples 30%, and then 30% just doesn't have any. They're
Symptoms.
just a carrier, no symptoms.
Sounds like COVID. So I guess the dog will just be running and he'll just kind of
Yeah, I remember
fall
that
over.
story. That's crazy.
Man, that is nuts. Oh no,
I'm
I haven't
surprised
heard
you
that.
haven't heard of it.
Uh-uh.
Huh. Might want to look into that.
Yeah.
So, cruisy. Yeah. Enough about bugs. We don't like bugs. So, what else can you tell us there, Troy? You're just hanging out hunting now.
Yeah, working and hunting as much as I can, and going out west as much as I can. Just fixing to breed ship again and see if I can get some pups sold out there and get back out there and do some more hunting.
Oh, that's right. It attacks the heart. The chagas attacks the heart and
wow.
Yeah. Look up chagas bug, the kissing bug, or chagas disease, and there's some neat stuff on it. You said Colorado earlier, and every time I hear Colorado now, I think about them wolves. I tried to get I got a guy coming on from Colorado, but he couldn't make it today. He was going to New Mexico to hunt, I think is what he was doing. So, but
They're whittling away. They're gonna. Hopefully, they don't get Colorado taken away. But shit, they're.
Well, you're taking away the lion hunting, you're adding wolves. So it's like, man, let's just hit them all at once.
Well, that's the whole plan. Destroy the hunting. So.
They say, they're still talking about chagas in the comments. Cody King said there was no cure for it.
Yeah.
Molly just told us she lives up here with me. She's actually my PI partner. So we do all the fun PI work.
Getting ready for a heck of a storm, huh?
It's supposed to storm tonight and in the morning. So I'm kind of glad I didn't go down the valley. Anyway, yeah, those wolves.
I can hear it.
I looked at the radar over there in Nevada. It looked like you guys were going to get it from out of California there.
Yep. So, hammering the Sierra Nevadas right now.
Some snow. Get some snow and go hunt. How long are you working? You got any days off or you just start?
Yeah, I work a 3-day shift. So I'll get off Saturday morning. And then I'll try to hunt Sunday or Monday or maybe Sunday and Monday.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
a lot of driving.
What do you think of them wolves up there, Troy?
I don't know. I mean, they should try it in Texas. I mean, I can see bringing them back, but have control over it. I mean, you listen to the guys up north, they reintroduce them and that's fine, but then no hunting and then they get out of hand. Yep. And I mean, I seen that picture floating around of that dog that was killed, that hound. And I mean, it's they got to get them under control. And they say they put in the lawsuits to stop them, and they just go on for years and years and years. And well, them wolves are just breeding and breeding and breeding, and it just, I don't know. It to me, it's like, I mean, it's a big difference, but it's like the whitetails here. I mean, if they don't, you get some places that doesn't get hunted very much, they just take over, and it's in no time they take over.
Well, look at the pigs. Look at the pigs in Texas. You know
Who'd
what's
go
funny
on?
is everybody hated pigs. Kill them all, and then they found out they could make money on them, and now they just kind of keep enough there to kill. You know?
No, well, we've got them. You couldn't shoot them out around here. I mean, you can hunt them with helicopters
Oh yeah, fully automatics,
every day down
Fully
here.
semi-automatic,
fully
30 round
semi-automatic.
magazine clip,
Yeah.
or 30 mag round clips, or whatever the hell.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you'd burn barrels up down here. I mean, it just. I've got a buddy that farms corn here, and they fly it 2 or 3 times a year. And I mean, it's just
Wiping them out.
you can shoot hogs. You can go somewhere around here and shoot hogs every day, every day. But we got to, now that I've been out west, and here we have deer feeders. Everybody has a deer feeder. People that don't hunt have deer feeders.
Mm-hmm.
It just brings more and more hogs in.
I always say I want them here, and I wish someone would sneak them over to Arizona, but just so I can go.
Well,
To us in
aren't there
Arizona,
some? I thought there was some in Oak Mountain up there at the northwest corner, right there outside of Mesquite.
well, they have some in. They say they have some in Kingman. They have some in Holbrook along. So there was. Here's a free plug for you, but Blue Rooster Ranch over here had a bunch of them pigs, and actually sold them a bunch of pigs for their pigs. Someone cut the fence, I heard, and all those pigs got out, and everybody in a little town next to it was shooting the crap out. My buddy killed like 9 of them, I think. But there's no regulation on them. That
Yeah.
guy, they're in his fence. But it only takes that one time to get out, and then next thing you know,
Yeah,
Mhm.
one sow can have up to a dozen piglets, and they breed 3 times a year. By the time that year's up, that first litter of piglets are all breeding.
But
Yeah.
us in Arizona, we don't get to hunt them like that. So that sounds great to us. Of course, we don't have cornfields they're destroying, and but that's just like the wolves. I think they put 10 over there, and 8 out of the 10 are confirmed livestock killers.
Livestock killers. Yeah, that I just
What is that? That's like
that
giving.
just dumbfounds me that they were dumb enough to take that because
I don't think they knew
you're going
about
to have
that.
conflicts. Well, that's because they're freaking too stupid to do the research.
Sneaky.
I mean, you
They're
wouldn't think to ask,
sneaky.
hey, are these livestock killing wolves?
Ah,
It either means that they're too stupid to understand what they're doing, or they just don't care.
Yeah, I think that's a big combination of both right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's unimaginable that they would do that. I mean, I can see like maybe bringing a couple old females with some litters that aren't livestock killers, and I'm not against it, but they just got to be regulated. That's the biggest thing to me is don't let them get out of hand.
They were the easiest to catch.
That's the problem is that those people are anti-hunting at all, so they're just going to keep stopping everybody from shooting them as much as they can, as long as they can.
Yeah.
So, and
And that,
they don't care anything about the regulation. Their intention is to rewild the entire nation. So they're all pushing that
Uh-oh.
that not me.
Waiting for that call.
They're all pushing the agenda that the who was it? The UN Agenda 2030. So they're laying the groundwork for that. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to corral humans, and they wanted to take us all from the outlying communities and push us all into pre-designated areas. They even went through and made a map of the areas we would be in, where we wouldn't be in. So we wouldn't be living out in the hills. Everybody be living in a town. Everybody be like, so it'd be an apartment, right?
Mm-hmm.
One bed in the apartment, and you have a locker. So during the day, I would have it. At night, someone else would have it, and we'd work for the state on a 24 or 12-hour shift. So 12 hours a day, I'm working. 12 hours a day, I'm off. And then, so when I'm off, you don't get to
Yep.
own anything. Basically, you have a backpack with maybe a couple pairs of clothes. So then, if you want something, you get to rent it. So you can rent it from the state, you can rent it from the city, whoever it is that owns it. And then that whole Klaus Schwab thing saying you'll own nothing and you'll like it and you'll be happier because of it.
Yep.
So Klaus Schwab is running the World Economic Forum, WEF. So he's right there in line with the fucking UN, and that's what they're pushing.
Mm.
Where's Jeremiah from? You
and
from
the whole
Colorado,
point of-
Jeremiah? I know where Jeremiah's from. I'd like to get somebody
because
from.
our NDOW, our Department of Wildlife budget. So, Colorado cats their own wolves.
Yep. He's the one. He's the one that has an opinion. I don't know. You know, I think when they brought him into Yellowstone, didn't they say it was the manage the elk population because the elk population was too high? And now
that was the intention, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But to me, it's like, why wouldn't you just let some people go in and hunt it and make some money? Because you're not allowed to hunt the Yellowstone, right?
Correct.
You don't get to hunt because it's a national park. But why wouldn't you sell? Why wouldn't you sell a $10,000 tag to some of these rich dummies that would pay? They pay $25,000 for reservation hunts.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me someone wouldn't pay $50,000 to go in there and kill some bulls out?
The only thing I could say is they're just so anti-hunting that they don't care. There's no reasoning with them. There's no because their mentality is, oh, they were willing to pay $25,000 to hunt that, then they're just a trophy hunter, and that's horrible.
Yeah, that trophy's a bad word.
Yeah, it
bad
is.
word. They make it a bad word. You know, and I just listened to a podcast. I think, or maybe it was my podcast. I think when I had Gates on, Dan Gates, and he was talking about what is a trophy. You know, if a kid goes out with his 22, kills his first rabbit, that's his trophy. Everybody's trophy is different. I'm not a trophy hunter. I'm not a horn hunter. I'm that guy Arizona hates because I'll shoot a spike because I just want to eat something. I'm not about the horn. Do I want to kill a big one? Yeah, the first 3 days. The last 4 days, it's like whatever you're gonna get, you know. And I see a lot of social media. Facebook's the worst. I don't know how people get on these groups because it's trash talking. It's horrible. So Arizona went to deer. It's all your over the counter stuff. You have to check it in now. So if so many deer get killed, they shut down the unit. So now everybody's mad because there's people out there that just go out there to kill a deer, no matter what it is. And now there's trash talk with that. You know, I don't trash talk it.
There's
let them grow.
Whole part of the population that hunts that they want the biggest, let them grow, get the biggest, maturest buck. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but me being a meat hunter, I don't want to eat some freaking tough, rangy ass 9-year-old buck. I'd much rather shoot that 2 or 3-year-old buck, you know?
Yep. When it comes to elk, I'm a cow hunter. I have an over-the-counter in my backyard, and it's cow or bull the first few months, and then it's just bull the last month.
Yeah.
I'll whack a cow. Nice 2-3-year-old cow.
Heck yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But
cheaper too.
Hey, I'm also a guy, and I'll probably get some slack off all these people and maybe get some hate mail, but don't open up horse. I'm going to tell you right now, I'll be a tag buying sucker. I'm not going to lie. So,
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, shoot, there's hundreds around me.
Oh, yeah. Nevada. I got to watch it. Nevada. Nevada is the worst. We're bad in Arizona, just right here where I live in Heber, Arizona, where we had no horses. And then all of a sudden there's fires, and then there's 2008 where everybody went broke. All of a sudden we got wild feral horses running around that you can walk up to and feed popcorn out of the window of my truck. But to me,
freeze branded and everything.
Oh, and hey, what's crazy in Arizona is you don't need a brand, an inspection card no more. You used to have a brand card, a hauling card. Now you don't need nothing. So you could go out there and catch them, I guess. To me, if they're feral wild horses and there's no law against it, but they got all them wild horses.
BLM makes money off of it, so.
Well, they have a guy
steal the BLM.
contracted that comes up here and loads up horses and takes them, sells them. But he took out like, I don't know. If I do, I'm not going to say. You just get people riled up, and people just. I'm all about the horses out there. I don't care about horses, but they are an invasive species, just like the wolves are invasive
big
species.
Time invasive. And so what they'll do is they'll camp out on water holes and they run off all the other game. They're a lot like the pigs. So the pigs, they'll camp out in a mud hole, right? So they get in there, they shit and piss in those mud holes, and then other animals don't usually want to drink that. So,
Right.
or they'll just get in that mud hole on a hot day and camp out on it, and then they'll run off anything that comes to that mud hole. So then those animals either they die of starvation or they move out. And then they'll, like, you got a good acorn tree, they'll camp out underneath that dang acorn tree and just eat them all up, big boar or a sow with piglets, and they just keep pushing all the deer out. I've watched them, a little 100-pound fucking boar. Sorry, I'm probably not supposed to cuss. 100-pound boar try running off cows up from underneath the oak tree. I killed him shortly after, but he was going up to cows, running them out from underneath the oak tree because acorns were falling, and they came over to eat some of those acorns.
So. We got them like during the winter, feeding cows. Them hogs will crawl up in them feed troughs, even in the big bunker troughs, and just sit there and eat and run everything off, and they'll go lay up underneath it. And I mean, they're ruining a bunch of feed, eating a bunch of feed, and just luckily for us, Dad, and nobody's really fighting to keep the hogs around.
Well, the thing is, you could kill them over there. You know, like these horses and the wolves. They're just, and there's a lot of groups right now that are protecting those horses or trying to. And if you want to protect them, go pick them up and take them home and feed them.
Yeah.
No one wants to feed them. They just want nobody to touch them. And you've seen how barren Nevada is. It's the same as up on the reservation in the Navajo reservation. Those horses, they just chomp it down. That's the same over here in like Alpine, Springfield, Arizona, where all those horses are. I've seen them destroy ponds and streams.
What they were saying there on the res where we were at, that the horses are just destroying everything and they want them out.
Would you get a call?
Yeah.
It does. Well, the Navajo reservation, I have a buddy over there, and he calls me and he says, hey, they're going to do permits on horses, tags. I said, sign me up. Feed your dogs. I'll feed my family. I can guarantee if you chopped up a horse, hamburgered it up, it wouldn't, I bet it, well, to me, it's real rich. It tastes like elk. Like there's no fat in it. So it's not like cattle, but no one would tell the difference as if you chopped up an elk. I do it all the time to people. I had a girl that would not eat nothing else but store-bought. I've probably told this story before, but I went, got a steak from the store, pulled off the cellophane, took an elk steak and cut it exactly like that other steak, put it back in the package and wrapped it again, put it in my fridge. They came over. They came over. I was barbecuing. I barbecued up all my elk steaks, and she watched me pull her steak out, take it out, put it on there, and she ate it. I waited this time too. I waited for an hour and a half. And I said, "How you like that steak?" She says, "Oh, it's a really good steak." I said, "Oh." She says, "I seen you pull it out of the package." I'm like, "Oh, okay." "No, I seen you." I'm like, no. You seen me pull it out of the package, but did you see me put it in the package? And I showed her the steak that I pulled out of the package. I said, "This is the steak that was in there." Hour and a half, almost 2 hours. Not a complaint until I told her that was elk, and she ate it all. And she says, "Oh, that's why my belly's hurting." I'm like, "Oh my goodness. You didn't know what it was, and you wouldn't have said nothing." So if people don't know what it is, like everybody, the biggest deal in mountain lion hunting is you just kill it for the trophy, for the fur, the rug, the skin.
Well,
That's what I'm a
they claim.
mountain lion eating sucker. I would take
You and me
every
both.
mountain lion that if you kill a mountain lion, don't want it, or bear. A lot of people don't
Yeah.
like bear because I don't know. I haven't found a bad bear yet, but I bottle my bear. I make tamales out of my bear. I mean,
Bottling something or bottling meat, canned meat, that's something I've always wanted to learn how to do.
it's
How long it stays, 3 or 4 years, right?
let me tell you stories about my canned meat. I have stuff we ate something from 99 a couple years ago. And then just if you watch one of my videos, we went up to where my brother's buried and I had dove, bear, and elk stew. And I had dove was 2010, elk was bears 2010, elk was 2008, and the dove was like 2011 or 9. And I'm gonna tell you, the meat is so good. It's like a fine wine in my opinion. I haven't died. None of my kids have died. Nobody that if I showed up my wife will not touch it. She is scared to death of it. But I have never had a problem with 10-year-olds. I have stuff out there from 2000. I'm not throwing it away. I'll eat it. And I'll make tamales out of it. But I mean, cooked. It's cooked. Let me tell you a story about a ship. 1876, there was a ship that sunk in the Mississippi. Got buried in the mud. 1974, they excavate the ship.
Oh.
1976, they opened the contents of the bottled peaches, whatever they had. Besides color, everything else was there. The taste was still there. I would have ate a bottle just so I could say I ate a bottle of 100-year-old peaches.
Yeah.
The taste was there.
Well, they do the wine, so I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So everybody that says there's only a shelf life of this or that, until you guys hear I died of botulism or salmonella or whatever it is, I'll eat it.
So they had a hard time selling canned goods or metal cans to families, right? Because people grew up canning their own food. So at first, women wouldn't buy canned food because they couldn't see it, right? So like in a glass jar, you can look at it, you can see the color, you can see what's going on in there, see if the top is popped or not. In the canned stuff, you can't see it, you have to open it. So everybody was skeptical for like the first 5 years, and then they started doing a PR commercials, really pushing it, and people started buying it more.
Well, Jeremiah, I'll eat mule. He asked, "What about mule? If we'd eat mule, if it has meat, I'll put it on a barbecue."
I mean, the only thing I won't eat is probably dog.
My friend in high school killed a coyote and made jerky and gave it to everybody in school.
I don't know if I could do
Everybody ate it.
I couldn't do it.
If I had to, I wouldn't. If it was Civil War and a coyote run across the road and I'm hungry, I'll probably eat them.
There's too many horses and mules out there, horses and donkeys.
I hear you.
You're right. So.
Yep.
No, I brought cat meat home. I can't wait to try it. That'll be the first time I've ever tried lion meat. I'm
Oh, it's
pretty.
real good. It's like a lean pork.
That's what I
It
say.
takes
It's like a
every
really
seasoning that you want to put on it. It's good. The,
the,
the only bad one I've had so far was this big tom that I killed a year ago, and he was gamey. But I mean, it's not bad. It's just it's got
it,
the cat scent to me, like the scent of a cat, a little bit flavor
anything
in the meat.
anything old in a male, pigs.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
Yep.
I've had people ask me, "Hey, can I got this old boar?" I'm like, "I feed it to your dogs." I
Yep.
have brined it. I have smoked it. You can't get that musk out of it, and that's just like an
Yeah.
old bull elk. Everybody's like,
Oh, I'll eat an
"Oh,
old bull elk.
I'll eat it. I'll put it in
Yeah.
chili. I'll put it in tamales. You know what I mean? Like I'll put it in everything."
Yeah. But you
But
still taste that that
yep,
um that just gaminess.
testosterone.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. No,
You know?
the females that I've ate, they were just plain delicious. I
Hmm.
the very first one I ate, or first one I killed a few years back, my wife would cook it while I was out of town so that she wouldn't have to share it with me. So tells you how good they are. But this Tom, she doesn't like to eat it, so I've been eating it a little bit whenever she's gone.
You
It
know
doesn't
what you do
stink up
with
the house.
crappy meat? You grind it up. You dump a bunch of green enchilada sauce in it with some green chilies, and you make green chili burritos.
There you go. And that's
You
that's
just
what I'm gonna start doing.
you just
The
drown it.
last one I just barbecued it, smoked it,
Mhm.
and then threw some barbecue sauce on it, and it was edible. So
You ever
it's good.
tried to
It's always
soak it
got
in
some little
milk?
hint. I haven't done that yet. No.
Worth a try.
The buttermilk. Yep, I've heard that. I just can't imagine. I can't bring myself to buy buttermilk to soak meat, and then
Yeah.
it'd be more expensive because I'm a cheap ass.
Yeah. They do it down here, like on the boar hogs. They'll soak it in that milk, but I still can taste the difference. I don't think it's
Yeah.
much to it.
Yeah. The
Now,
first.
so those big old boars, what I would always do is I'd do the chili verde. I'd
Mm,
stew it, but I'd always have to add something that would cover up the flavor
Yeah.
or
that
enhance it. You know?
the first cat I had was in the '90s, and my buddy gave me some dogs, and I was stupid about. I didn't know nothing about hounds. Always wanted hounds. He gave me, and they were Bam Bam walkers. I didn't know that back then. I didn't know nothing. Now I'm like, oh, you just want to punch myself in the face for getting rid of that line. Got a divorce, got rid of him, but he had brought some cat meat over and says, "Here's some stuff for your dogs." And I was barbecuing. I'm like, oh, throw it on the grill and ate it. I'm like, I'm not giving these to my dog. So, that was the first time I had cat.
Yeah,
But I think it's a mental thing. It always is.
it really is.
If someone brought you over a piece of meat that they smoked and it was absolutely just butter in your mouth and you ate it,
Hmm.
you'd be all right with it until they said that was a rat or that was a cat
Right, as long as you don't know.
or that
Yeah.
was or that was just
Well,
something like,
that's how the Chinese stores do it, or Chinese
"Mhm,
restaurants do it.
yeah, they don't know what it is.
You don't
But
know
when
what this
they,
shit it is.
until they leave the tail on it and you're like, a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See what
Yeah.
this one's
let me
got a
see.
little bit of the claws are still on this one.
Together and burger. Yeah, you could add your meats together.
Burger. Yep, cut it. And that's another thing is if you're going to be um, doing your own sausage and stuff, and you got one that's gamey, cut out all that fat that you can get off it, just as lean and meat as you can, and then
Hmm.
just go get a bunch of freaking pork fat, throw it in there,
Yep.
and that really helps right there because a lot of that
I
gaminess is usually in the fat.
I save on my
So
my bear fat. I love bear fat. I'm a bear fat junkie.
I
I
I
gotta
don't
send
have
you
much
some soap.
experience with it.
I'll send you some soap. I was gonna send you some soap. Did I get your address? Thought I
I don't
did.
think so.
Maybe I didn't. Somebody I got an address today. Bear soap though, or a bear fat, I save it. Save everybody. I will pay $1 a pound to anybody around here that bring me bear fat.
Nice.
So, and it's just good. I just render it down and I use it for everything, cooking everything.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
used to grease up on my chaps and stuff, but when you use animal fat to grease up your chaps and boots, and your dogs smell it,
They
they're
want to eat
probably
it,
gonna
huh?
chew on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but
Makes sense.
bottle that meat. Everybody bottle. My brother got a bear. They don't eat bear in my dad's house because they're all pusses. So I got the whole thing, and I got 17 jars out of it.
Ooh.
Of just
And
I
you're
just
talking
bottled.
about the 1 quart jars.
Mm-hmm. And then
Yep.
I butcher. I used to butcher where I cut my steaks. Not no more. I hamburger everything except whatever big chunks of roast meat I can cut out, and I'll make roast out of them. So out of an elk, I'll get probably sometimes 10 roast out of it, because when I go and I freeze them all, when I go camping, I grab a roast, 4 or 5 pound roast, depending on how many people. And if I want steaks, I'll cut up steaks. If I want to make some burritos, I cut up some burritos. Like if I want to make
There
fajita,
you go.
that's all I do now. I don't, except for my back strap. I always cut my back straps up because I eat them for breakfast. So, and I'm a heart.
There you go.
I don't know if you guys eat heart, but
I
every
love
time
heart.
we kill
That's
an
one of
elk,
my favorite.
no, we kill an elk, we come home, we cook the heart. Period.
Yep. I got my wife hooked on the heart, and that's one of her
Oh,
favorite things now.
my old lady
I
too.
just cut it up into like 2 or 3 inch strips, and then I'll take and salt, butter, a little bit of garlic salt, and maybe some pepper in a frying pan. It's
This
like
kind of
candy.
makes me mad right here. And the Koreans just banned dog meat. They've been eating dog meat for years and years. It's their
Long
custom.
time.
It's their custom. That's what they do. And all those
Yeah.
animal activists from America or Britain or all these Europe go over there and bust their balls about it. And it just annoys me. I mean,
Karens.
animals are animals, honestly. Do we treat our animals better than most? Probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You go to any
Stinker.
third world country where they're really poor. Look at the quality of their animals.
Mm-hmm.
They're working until they're falling over dead, and then they
eat
get
them.
eaten.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I had this conversation the other day. They were asking about
Deer
my dog.
sausage.
I said, yeah, I've got one on a chain, and the other 2 are in the yard. And they're like, well, you need to keep them in the house. And you don't understand. People that have hunting dogs take care of their dogs better than 90% of the people that have house dogs.
Absolutely.
It's my daughter and then the dogs, and that's the pecking order.
Oh,
And
wait. You're supposed to put your kids first before the dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder my kids hate me. I got to go get them off the chains and put my dogs back out, then I guess.
Get the kids out of the kennels.
Oh, dang it. What do you guys like, kennels or chains? We don't ever talk about that. My dogs are on chains.
I like the kennels just because I don't know. It's just a personal preference. I don't really have a my issue with the chains are they wear out. I grew up with dogs on chains, and then you'd be gone, and all of a sudden you come home, dog's gone, chains only half the chains there.
I can show you my chains that I've had for 10 years.
Yeah. And then you come home and the dog's gone because you never think about looking at those chains.
Yeah, but that takes a while. But I got longer chains to where they run around. They can do big loops, and they're all under a tree, and then they're all, so I have them all next to trees. And we got cedar bushes here, trees. So they're all next to trees. Summer times they're under the tree. Winter times they're on their box in the sun. But a lot of people understand is I've put on my dogs. If I know if I'm out camping, I got a tie out line. I got 5 dogs in each line. So if I know it's gonna get down real cold, I'll throw them in my dog box. But my dogs can all go in a dog box. I very, very rarely get a fight. Very rarely.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
So I got sides on my dog box. Not my new one. I got to build some tomorrow. So I put them in, cover it. Stick your hand in there in the morning. It's 80 damn degrees in there. I'm like,
dogs are panting.
I was just talking to somebody how I need to build me a special waterproof sleeping bag in case they piss on me, where I can put it in there and sleep with them. You wouldn't even need blanket. It was hot. I'm like, dang, I need to vent it up a little bit. So I would open it up a little the next night. But it was very warm in there. Very warm. And if you go in their dog box, I got boxes I built and barrels. but I built
Mhm.
flaps on the front of them. It has a door, and I used
Yeah.
old. So anybody ever wants to know how to build a barrel, I'm gonna make a video about it. But I go to your plants, all your plant that have a conveyor belt. Pick up that conveyor belt. I'm gonna tell you what, that
Yeah.
stuff's just as good as mill tape. You can cut
Yeah.
it. If you have my kids are gonna make fun of me for this too, because I do it all the time. I won't throw away an ice chest. It's cracked, it's broke, styrofoam's coming out, the hinges break, and then I cut a little strip of that conveyor belt and screw them on for hinges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done. Perfect. So, but you reach inside those barrels. 20 degrees
Yeah.
outside, reach inside those barrels, and you got your straw in there, and it's
Yep.
60 degrees in there. It's 50, 60 degrees in there.
Yeah, I run, so what I got is 35-gallon poly drums that I put inside 55-gallon barrels, steel drums, and then I put shavings in between it as insulation.
Mhm.
And then, so they're insulated, top, bottom, sides.
Hmm.
Uh, and then I throw straw in there. I haven't been able to find any conveyor belt, so that's the
Oh,
next thing.
look for that conveyor belt. I don't know what the logging companies, they all got them out there.
We got tons of mining. I haven't been able
Mining.
to find a source for it. Yeah.
Yeah. My cousin
So
works
when
at
I,
a shavings plant or a pellet plant, so
yeah,
get it
with
all.
lots of conveyor belt there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to. Well, I've got the pad built. I haven't had the money. This has been a lean year for us to pour a cement slab, and then I'm gonna build new dog houses, and I'm gonna insulate them with the 2-inch foam.
Oh,
You buy
yeah.
the 4x8 sheets of foam. So I'm
Oh,
gonna do.
spray
Uh,
foam would be the best.
so the problem
So
with the spray
expensive.
foam is it's expensive. So the slab itself is gonna be insulated across the bottom.
Mhm.
And then the dog houses themselves are going to be they'll be 5 foot wide, probably 24 inches deep, and then either 20. I'll probably go 30 inches tall, but it'll be insulated on uh, all four sides with straw on the bottom, and then they'll walk in, and then only I'll probably be like a 14-inch door in the back. So then the front 10 or 12 inches would be they have to go in and make a left hand turn to get inside into where they can
Like a
sleep.
Snell shower.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah,
That's
to
a
go
good
in, turn,
idea.
and then I'm gonna put conveyor belt or figure out something for a door to block the
That way, when
wind.
they piss you off, you can't get them.
Well, yeah,
When they hide them,
exactly.
yeah. Better make that top
No,
open
so
up.
I'm gonna make the top open up. Yeah, and then I'm either gonna make it so they can get on top of that, or I'm gonna build it to the back and then have a little bench for them to get up on, so they can get up off the ground, take advantage of the wind during the
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah. All mine are facing north because all my wind usually comes out of the south.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to face mine to the southeast.
What do you got? What do you got, Troy?
I got barrels and a couple of them plastic dog houses.
The igloos?
Yeah, I mean it it freezes here for about 2 days,
Yeah.
maybe 3 days, and that's it. And so it's not. I've got a buddy that lives a little further up north, and talking about building them dog houses. His are plywood dog houses, but the dogs come in from the bottom,
Mhm.
and
Oh yeah, they up on a
yeah, they ramp and
raised
they just
platforms.
in there. Man, them things are awesome. Keep them
Hmm.
warm. The heat doesn't escape out no door or anything. And
Yep.
Yep.
the sometimes the roofs they pin up so there's a little air gap in there so they can get a breeze through there. But that's
That,
pretty neat.
my door's got maybe a half-inch, quarter-inch gap around it because what I have is holes cut in my dog boxes out of wood. Got the holes cut in them. Then I take a
Mhm.
piece of that belt and cut it just where there's maybe a quarter-inch on each side and the bottom, and I screw it. So then it just kind of flaps in and out. And they don't really chew it. It has just enough where there's some airflow to get in and out of there, and it stays really warm in there. Then my barrels, So I used to just cut holes in my barrels too and do that. But what I do now is I cut the whole ring out on the inside, and then I have a template now out of a belt. So I cut my belt in a circle, screw it on, and I just take a 4-inch grinder and just cut the door.
Oh,
So it just same thing, flaps in and out.
yeah, and it's self centers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'll make a video. I was gonna make a video on making one of those. So one of
Yeah,
these days.
yeah,
Matt, we're more concerned about the heat than we are the cold. I mean, it just doesn't
yeah.
stay long enough to make a difference. And last year, I think was the first time in 100 years we've got down to single digits.
Mm.
I brought the dogs in, put them in the garage.
Yep.
Turned out there's ice everywhere, and they didn't want to come back inside. I mean, it was like a
They're
holiday.
liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dogs,
There's
they go out and I break the ice in their water buckets, and I got like 3 of them. They like to pull the ice out and chew on it.
Yeah, my male dog, I'll turn him out in the evenings, and he swims. I've got a pond down backside of my pasture, and he'll swim and swim for hours. And last year, that pond, about half of it froze over, and I could hear him down there swimming. Well, I mean, I'm not going to waste the time insulating a doghouse for him. He's enjoying it.
Yep.
Right? That's a heck of a 6x4, and
But
10
all
of
his
my
dogs.
sleep it.
That's
Yeah.
nice. If you
That is real nice.
there's one person I can tell you right now, and I'm a shout out to her, and that's Elizabeth. Used to be bowling. It's Elizabeth Washoe now, and she can. I've seen this gal. She's been on here before. I was just talking. You see on Facebook they were talking about like very antisocial girl. She got on here, but I've seen her truck broke down here in Sholo. She had to drive back to Fredonia over in Utah area, and she put like 9 dogs in a rental car because they didn't have a truck. Her dogs, you could bring all her dogs. You go to her Facebook, you'll see all of her dogs just laying in her kitchen or wherever. Her dogs are trained house dogs that catch. She's probably the best houndswoman I would ever know in my life.
Yeah.
She looks like she wants to kill you and she's mad at you, but she's a hell of a houndswoman. Funny as hell. Funny, really dry, but funny. I think it took her a year before she started really talking crap. Her dogs, even though they're blue ticks, are perfect. I've seen her throw 9 food bowls out right there, and they just all eat on their own food bowl. Yeah, great. I'd love to send her 10 of my dogs and send them back to me in a year.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
Great dogs.
I was wanting to do that community doghouse, but as soon as one of those females came into heat, then you have to worry about pups, and then what if you're not watching just close enough, and I don't want to deal with that, and then fighting because of females in heat.
Yeah. I just had a yard dog get pregnant. She was in my heat pen, gets out for 30 minutes. My wife calls me, she's like, she chewed through this strap. I'm like, find her, put her back in. She just had puppies. I don't know who they are. Right. She's a Catahoula with one blue eye, and she's like, I have guinea hens and I have this yard dog, and they keep the coyotes out.
Yeah.
She 30 minutes. It don't take long. If you don't, yeah, it might be. If you don't keep an eye on them dogs, man. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that's probably why I have 9 kids too. So. No one kept an eye on me either. But I would love to take a 1/4 acre, fence it off, where they can just run and play.
Yeah,
but they definitely have to be raised.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that one time they get in a fight, one time that just hurt your feelings. So
yeah. And it's that quick.
Yeah,
lose an eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stretch a dog.
Accident. Yep. Yep. So they'll as much of buddies you think they are, they're all going to gang up on one.
Mm-hmm.
So, whichever one, I don't know, but they're going to gang up if you give them that opportunity.
Well, you get one fight going, and another one jumps in, and another one jumps in.
Exactly.
And the two that are fighting may turn and take, and they always get that little dog, and then they start stretching it. I would love it, and they'd have to just be even litter mates. Holy moly! I had 2 litter mates.
They fight the worst.
The biggest fight I ever got into was at a hounds trial, and I've never punched a dog in top of the head until that time, and that knocked him out. He hit the ground, and then woke up in about 2 seconds and grabbed the other dog's foot before I could even get him off, because of a jip, of a jip and heat someone brought, and they that jip wasn't even near us. It was way away, and just because of that, I walked by.
That flips in their head.
One was tied to my truck, my dirty dog. I walked by after doing a coon drag run, and it just that quick done.
Yep.
They were fighting, and they're big dogs. I've never had a dog fight that bad in my life. I had people run over and try to help. I had my Tundra 2 weeks. I picked up that dog, swung around and threw him, and he hit my front fender of my Tundra and put a big dent in it. It's still there. Oh, I hated that dog. I hated him so bad I got a tattoo of him on me, and it was just a love-hate relationship. He was 10, 11 years old before he got strep A in his skin, and it fell off. I had to put him down. Yeah, I think he got in a coyote fight when he got off one time, where an elk gouged him, and they get this, it's called strep A or something, and it just rotted his skin. In 2 days, his back leg was about falling off his skin.
Crazy.
But man, hated that dog, but he had heart. He had heart.
Yeah.
That's another rabbit hole. We could go there all night about dogs you hate and keep.
And those are the same dogs that are knocking up the water, knock their water over, chew up their frickin' bucket. They're gonna be the ones that cripple your good dog.
Oh yeah, they're the ones that's gonna wear out your batteries in your GPS.
Yeah. Wear out your boots.
Oh,
cost you the most in fuel chasing them because they're chasing that gosh darn elk or that deer.
And you know what the sad part sometimes is? You're like, son of a gun. They're chasing elk or deer, and they're somewhere, and you show up, and they got a bear treat. You're like, I just wanted to shock him so bad. I thought I was gonna get to shoot this dog, but no. So they go real bad when you're ready to get rid of them. All of a sudden they're doing good, and you're like, son of a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rowdy, you gotta check them jips every day. Every day.
Rowdy, what kind of hounds do you have?
I've got 2 blue tick crosses. Little female, she came from southern Utah. A blue tick male, he came out of southern Arizona, so they're the Southwest dry ground bred dogs. And then the rest of them almost all go back to some kind of Nance blood. I've got 5 now that are related. 4 that are all from the same litter. They were a twist pup from I took a bitch up to Andy Jensen in Montana and bred his twist dog. And then I've got their older brother out of that same female, but his father was a Trig cross out of California. And then and then I bought one from a guy, and I don't want to say his name just because I don't want to throw him out there without him knowing it. So an outfitter or a guide from out in Ely here in Nevada, and I bought him, I think it's 2 years ago now, but he came from Utah also. And then I heard that I used to know the guy's name that raised him up as a pup, but then he got sold over to Jeff Allen, and Jeff Allen, I think, sold him to this guy. And then I bought him as a snow dog just because, I'd rather have one dog that knows what it's doing and then training all the pups than try to train all pups.
Right.
Good dog.
Right.
Yeah.
I've always said if you want to learn how to be a houndsman, buy a puppy and start from there.
Yeah, I've done
You
that
know,
many times over.
yeah, I'm to the
But
point where I'm ready to buy a good dog.
yeah, that's where I was at.
You
It,
know,
No,
it'll
I've been.
how, or how not to be a houndsman.
that's a
Yeah, no,
fact.
I've had hounds in between Catahoulas and hunting hogs till now. It's been since 2006.
Hmm.
So since 2006, I've been running dogs.
Yep. You'll learn one
My
day.
highest, I had 14.
You'll learn one day to get out of it.
Yeah.
I
Let me tell
I
you, a
think it.
smart houndsman
I ain't smart
is a
enough.
houndsman who gets rid of his dogs and goes on with his life.
I ain't that smart.
Me
No.
either. Uh, well, shoot,
-2
guys.
the other day. Bird dogs loved it.
Yeah, she got
Oh,
labs. My dad got one of her labs.
oh,
Kick it every time I see it. I'm gonna get a text now. She'll be mad at me. Yeah, that dog of hers. My dad got a dog off her, and then my little stinker dog I got. They get going, yapping, and
yeah,
my
playing.
little dog barks at him, but crazy. Yeah, old stinker dog doing good though.
Good.
I found a dead
That
coon and I drug it, and she
yeah.
trailed it. She's not. She treats cats better than those coons. So, my
Yeah, you
dad
got
has
house
feral
cats there.
cats. Yeah, my dad has
Yeah,
feral
there you
cats
go.
everywhere, and
There
every
you
time
go.
I
Just
hear
let
her
her.
out there, I do.
Yep.
I got
Yep.
video of her. Just that cat will run across, and she didn't see it run out, and I'll watch her trail it to the next pile of whatever.
Heck yeah.
I
Teaching
know.
herself, training herself.
Yep. So,
That's,
damn mini
yeah, I
border
need to get
collie.
a few more barn cats. Our barn cat died this year. Now we've got a stray cat coming in eating our trash if we leave a trash bag outside the door for too long. But
I brought
we need to.
I brought a
I
male
need to get a
cat home.
couple good barn cats for the kids.
I brought one home from my dad's. Mean, mean. The first one I brought home disappeared. I have a scar on my knee where it bit me, and it was mean. I put him in I got a big shop full of mice. Throw them in there, feed them every once in a while, keep water in there. I brought a tom home the other day I caught at my dad's. Let it go. My wife has a female in the house, and it got out, and I think they bred. My wife's mad at me. I'm going to get her
Yeah,
fixed. I said, no, no, no. You're fine. We'll
you're
just let the
fine.
cats go outside and play. Yeah.
Yeah, old Stinker will have plenty.
Yep.
Here
Man,
here in about 6 weeks, they'll be out walking around.
mhm. I had
And she
cats around here before. And then I think a fox came in and wiped them out. But I
fox or
had my
just one owl. An owl will come back every night.
I did have a hawk. Disappeared somehow.
Awesome.
But I did have a hawk before. And I think it ran in the power line or
Power
something
line.
out back. I don't know what
Weird.
happened. It was just dead. But it did. It wiped out. I had 30 pigeons. I brought
Yeah.
pigeons up, and I had them just living around the house. I'm like, yeah, if it gets bad, I'll shoot pigeons and eat them. And within days,
Oh,
bam,
they'll wipe it out.
they
Yeah.
did. They did too. So
Yeah, we've got a
yeah,
big
I
old
had.
horned owl that comes in that takes out our. I'll get a good population of cottontails going in the yard. I won't have to mow the lawn, and then all of a sudden, I start hearing that out the tree out in the front of the house there, and then all of a sudden, rabbits are all gone.
Yep. Yeah, that's how it happened here. But I used to get. I had the cat. She'd have kittens. Seemed like every time I had pups, she'd have kittens. And so my little puppies, I let them run feral in my yard for 4 or 6 months. When they start leaving, I
Yeah.
have to chain break them, and my neighbor would call me. He's like, "Oh, it's so cute. All your little hound puppies over here treating my cat." Oh yeah, it's cute now. So
Yeah.
they're shredding it or something. Then I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always nice to have cats running around.
Yeah, except for when your dogs are in kennels and then the cat will sit out there in front of your kennels and clean itself and the dogs will bark all night long.
Hey, I don't know. I have
Yeah.
faulty chain. I have faulty chains and kennels sometimes. I don't know. They get off. They get off.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, once I get the hay
I've
barn
got
built, it'll have a place to get up there and the dogs
mm-hmm,
can tree them all day.
mm-hmm.
I got a old barn cat that she walks to the edge of that circle where that male dog's on and just
teases them.
inches. Yeah. And she just knows exactly where she can step. And that poor dog will just damn near choke himself to death trying to get to that cat.
Hey, those clips will break. They say 450 pounds, but I've seen them dogs snap them suckers.
That's static load, not a shock load.
Yeah. And they will. They'll hit those. I don't know how dogs don't break their necks or have some kind of. I bet you if you took the spine off a dog on a chain that was crazy like that and x-rayed it, I bet you there has to be some damage in there on those discs. Gotta be.
You'd think.
Yeah.
But they do it to themselves so they get all wound up.
3 foot of chain to that dog. Add a couple chains. Add a couple links to that chain.
That's what I ought to do one day and just fool that cat.
Well, guys, it's been an hour and a half. I told you, Troy, hour goes by quick.
Yeah, I did.
We didn't even get to talk crap about no houndsmen. Just Colorado and their wolves.
Well, there's always Jared. We can talk about him.
Well, I was going to have him on, but I'm going to try to do a live next week. I'm going to try to do a live down there if I can find service.
Okay.
And then Monday night, who do we have? He's bringing on an old houndsman. Brett's bringing on a houndsman Monday night. Was it Otis? He's trying to get a couple houndsmen. I actually got maybe Brett Reeves coming on as soon as he gets back from Mississippi. So that'd be cool.
Yep.
So, yeah. So I'm going to try to do one next week. We'll see. But I appreciate you coming on, Troy. It's always good to hear other people's stories from other states. So.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And it's always good to hear from somebody else.
And I mean, we're not as cool as Chris Powell and the Houndsman XP podcast you've been on.
Right.
Oh, that was he's pretty excited guy.
Yeah.
But that was good that he was at that horse, hounds, and mules sale. And
oh yeah, we was going to talk about that. You went to that?
Yeah, I went there, watched it. It was pretty good.
Yep.
I hope it gets bigger. I hope they stay with it, and it was good. Met a lot of guys and talked dogs and learned a lot about horses and mules there.
Well, after last year's extra van, it got all everybody the big hype about the $20,000 dog, and then they sell a mule for some god awful amount too.
Yeah, I think the top selling mule went for 17,000, 17,500, something like that.
Yeah.
Shoot, dang.
Everybody will be trying to get their dogs in next year.
Right.
So, where is Louisiana Hunter tonight?
I don't know.
Show up tonight.
Pretty good deal they got going. I hope it gets bigger, and I hope everything stays good with them. And
for sure.
I don't know. I just kind of around here preach that, we're a hunter just like the deer hunters are. And down here, the deer hunters hate the hound hunters.
That's everywhere.
And
it is.
And I keep telling them we're just the same people. And when they try to shut me down, you're next. Or when they try to shut you down, I'll be next. You got to stick together.
That's a fact. Getting people to stick together is the toughest chore to ever do, too. But it is a fact.
And like on social media, if somebody posts something with hounds that I don't agree with, and I really think I need to tell them, I'm going to private message them. Mm-hmm. Don't blow it up on the internet and give everybody else
ammo.
Ammo. Exactly. And keep the post clean. Everybody wants to show off what they've done, what their dogs are doing, but keep it clean. respectful, and
Yeah.
don't give them the ammo to come back on you.
They don't understand that. I seen a post one time and I was like, hey man, like you shouldn't post that. The bear literally got shot, bounced on every limb, bounced off the ground. They ran out and shot it. I'm like, you don't need to see. You can hear the shot, and then you can zoom to where he's on the ground dead already, or the kid's holding it, and it was a special needs kid. And I said, I understand all that, but you don't need to see hear it here. And I had so many hate comments coming to me. And one guy was like, well, you chased a cub for 4 miles and ran it off his mom. I'm like, I say a cub to me is 100-pound bear.
Yeah.
I said he was definitely off his mom. And if he was, he should be. I said, and here's my theory. You can we're hunters. You got hunters, non-hunters, anti-hunters. It is easier to make a non-hunter an anti-hunter with that video than it is to make a non-hunter a hunter at all.
Mm-hmm.
And most people would love to hunt, 100% love to hunt. Just got to give them the opportunity. I will take a non-hunter any day of the week over. If this guy said, I'll give you $1,000 to shoot a rabbit, and this guy said, I've never been, I'll take that guy that's never been.
Yeah.
Because it's way worth more, $1,000 to get that guy another vote for these dumb ballot initiatives that should be illegalized. Period. They talk about science with the wolves, but it don't count when it don't count when it's time to vote for lions and poor little kitty cats. But real quick, savethehuntcolorado.com, make a donation, $10, $5. That goes, those guys, he told me, basically they need $5 million to fight it. If they get 10, they got $5 million to go to Arizona or New Mexico or the next state that needs that. And if they can fight that and win, that lawyer, then why not? Why not send him to the next state?
Absolutely.
He's going to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be donating here as soon as I get my finances in order.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It don't matter. Dollar helps, and out of this guy, Gates had all the numbers, and he's like, there's, I don't know, 7 million or 17% hunters or whatever, 5%. It was, if everybody donated $10, it'd come out to $10 million. He had all the numbers, and that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to go stand in front of anybody and talk. I can't go be intelligent like that.
Yeah, so, exactly right. So we need to find somebody that can, and then we all need to support them.
It's worth the money.
It is.
It's worth the money.
Because not only that, we can't do the public talking. We have families. We've got jobs. If we get that one person that their job is to go do that, that's a win-win situation. Right?
I can sit at home and pay him money, because how much is it going to cost me to go to the state capitol? How much is it going to cost me to do? You're going to be at hundreds of dollars.
Drive time, taking the day off, fuel, right? Yep. Then you got your hotel room, and then you got all your suit and tie and everything going in there, and then you got to get over the shakes and the squeaky voice to talk.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, my biggest deal is as a hunter, everybody needs to stick together on it. And as houndsmen, we need to do our part on it. Keep the videos clean. I mean, grip and grins are fine. I have no problem with that. But not it getting knocked out of the tree, not the dog stretching it out.
Exactly.
Because they're going to take the clip of that video and turn it into a mass murder video. And
oh, we lost Chris.
Uh-oh. But yeah, be respectful and keep it clean, and you get more money.
Take that extra 5 minutes, clean up the blood, put the tongue back in the mouth, position it in a good position, and then take a good classy picture.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. For sure.
I try to do that with all my stuff, and then uh, I've only ever posted one video of a lion getting killed, but it wasn't like I didn't show the shot, it was just
Yeah.
a couple pictures or one or two pictures towards the end of me holding the lion, right? But before that, it was like 20 minutes of me driving with my daughter, working with the dogs, or putting dogs out, stuff like that, right?
Right.
Now, I haven't gotten a single bad comment on that thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the
No,
antis haven't found it, but it's all about, my daughter was so cute. That's what it's about, teaching them young, stuff like that. And that's exactly right. And that's what it's all about is I'm out there to spend time with my kids, friends if they want to go with me. But otherwise, it's just spending time in the woods. And I try to um, present it in a good fashion.
right. And that's all it takes. That it's just that simple.
Yep,
So many
absolutely.
videos of them shooting them or the dogs chewing on them, and that just gives them more ammo for their fight and less for ours.
Hmm.
And
Yep,
I
and it's giving them that it just more examples of the opportunity for them to portray us in a bad light.
yeah, no, but it's going to be a hard fight, and I mean, I think we do have it pretty easy here in Texas. I mean, everybody hunts here. I mean, one way or the other, but
Yeah,
you still fighting that battle between the deer hunters, the bird hunters, the duck hunters. It's everybody's
yes,
against everybody.
exactly. Everybody needs to be a hunter, not a this hunter or that hunter. I'm a hunter.
Right. And then, I've got a kid that works for me that he's just a solid duck hunter. That's all he does. And he
Hmm.
could care less about hounds, anything like that. And I told him, I said, just you can be a duck hunter, that's great, but don't complain about the way I hunt with hounds. And I'll never
Hmm.
complain you hunting with ducks. And you know,
Exactly. Yep.
if I'm somewhere and I run across you hunting ducks and I'm hunting with my hounds, we just shake hands and go on and be done with
Right.
it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, you're doesn't matter how you're using the dog. They don't want you using dogs even for hunting in the first place. Well, that anti-hunters.
Yeah.
So they're right after they're done with houndsmen, they're coming to bird dogs.
Yeah. And it's coming. I mean, it is coming. They're 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 listening to people that have no clue. They don't have no clue. They're
Yeah.
not doing anything for the outdoors. I mean, just because they got a $400 backpack and $100 water bottle and they take a hike every now and then, they don't know. I mean, hunters put more into conservation than any other group.
Oh,
But
absolutely. Absolutely.
we're the least respected out of all of it, I think. And
It's a
it's
it's an
gonna
uphill
be a
battle
hard.
for us, and that's for sure.
Yeah, it is.
So, and I think a lot of it has a lot of it is um, public perception of us because number one, not all of us are people. I'm not a people person. I
Right.
enjoy talking to a couple people here and there, but yeah, when I get off work, I go home and I'll stop and maybe grab some beer on the way home, go home, spend time with the family. Otherwise, I don't go to town. I don't go talk to people. I'm out in the woods, driving around the mountains by myself.
Yep.
And then you got them, what they love to be around people, and they're exact opposite. So they have, the they're putting that face out there, and they're always around everybody to be advocating for their side. and us, we're not advocating for our side.
I just give you guys a show. My internet just went off. Just disappeared. Nothing. Ah,
Got
We
hacked.
did I miss anything fun?
no, not much. Just same old song and dance. Just
Yep.
talking shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So no, I think we just need to do as hunters, we need to do a better job at advocating for it, right? It, be a little bit more articulate about our conversations whenever we do talk with people that are not hunters. Um, do better job at portraying it in a less um, gruesome light, like showing those bloody pictures and showing the kill shots and stuff like that. It A non-hunter, like you're saying, Chris, can easily go to be a anti-hunter
yep.
because they get turned off on a bloody picture. So
That's all it
uh,
takes is one bad picture or one
Yeah.
it is.
smart ass comment. And we all talk about SSS, but really
Mhm.
just kind of keep that to ourselves anyways.
Exactly. You shouldn't even be talking about that, right?
Yeah. We all know about it. We all know we know there's poachers. We know there's animal activists that are gruesome people. They will car
Well,
bomb you just so you don't kill a
well,
deer.
right. And what was the Humane Society group that ran the dog shelters? They killed like 91% of their dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was Humane Society of the United States, HSUS. They ran.
Well, and they only put out like 1.5% to all these
Yeah,
humane stuff. It's all
yeah,
going to their hookers and cocaine, whatever they're
right.
doing.
So yeah, their annual income was like $220 million, and of that 220 million, 1.3% of it went out annually to any kind of animal welfare work. The
Yeah.
rest of it went to lawyers, went to renting their facilities that they have, that they, their offices, and then it went to their salaries.
Well, it's a
So
nonprofit, and if there's big bonuses, there's no profit.
exactly. What was the dude that was making like freaking 4 million a year that was
Mhm.
running it?
Oh,
He
Wayne,
got in trouble. Wayne.
yeah, wasn't it like sexual, not assault, but like it was some
Yeah,
chick. Hmm.
yeah. Sexual, not abuse. Yeah.
Didn't pay the hooker.
Or he treated her like a hooker and didn't call her back.
Maybe didn't give her some of the blow. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
So
it,
he got into trouble for something, and then he resigned,
oh,
but
of course, and he's still
then it
involved.
just got swept under. Yeah, he
Hmm.
just resigned in that position. Now he went to a different position, right?
Male
So he's
boy or
still making
whatever.
money for the company
Yeah.
or from it, and it's just a revenue generation source is all it is in the long run. They're doing almost zero work. So in reality, they put out a bunch of commercials. That's all they do.
That's all they do.
So,
It's all they
and
get
then
these housewives from the ritzy places wearing their tight white pants. They go out and
hmm
they sit on the corner and they show pictures of jaguars and ocelots and Canada lynx that we're not allowed to kill anyways.
yeah,
And
federally protected species.
yeah, and then tell people how they're their conservation, their the wildlife welfare, and it looks good. If you're not a hunter,
Oh,
it
that's
looks
all it
good.
is.
Even if you're a
Yeah,
hunter, it looks good.
that's that's all they can do is they make it look good. There's no substance to their stuff other than they're pushing the agenda.
Yep.
Well, Rowdy, it was just like you were saying. I'm like you. I leave work, go home, usually go in the shop, mess
Yeah.
around, whatever. I don't hardly talk to anybody. But you take a group like that and they're in a big group and they say, "Oh, did you see on YouTube that they stretched out a baby bear?"
Hmm.
hmm
Well, people later, it's, "Oh, did you see they killed 100 baby bears?" That ain't the story.
hmm
But it
And
is
it's
the
in,
story. It is the
It gets
story.
bigger and bigger, and the more
Mhm.
people they talk to, the more animals died in that one
Here,
instance. And
And the more gruesome it got, and the worse
here's
it
a
was.
here's a
exactly,
personal story that backs that up right. I had another houndsman say, "Hey, there's another houndsman killed a baby bear. That thing couldn't weigh 50 pounds. I'm going to confront you." He was driving this kind of truck. Well, I bump into this kind of truck. And I said, "Hey, you killed a bear yesterday?" Yeah. I said, "Little baby bear or what?" He goes, "Who told you that? The guy in this kind of truck?" I said, Yeah." He goes, "That bear was already skinned out and it was on the in between his toolbox. So it had the head, the paws, the skin, and another paw. So
All
it looked
balled
like
up.
a little baby bear." That was a houndsman that told me that. Me, I don't care. I'll go ask you. Are you stupid and killed something? Like whatever. I don't know you.
Yeah,
You
I'm
don't like
brutally
me. If you
honest
don't
too.
like me for asking that, then whatever. And he said, "No, man, it was already skinned out." But if that was a houndsman, take that. Remember that. If that was just somebody out driving the country and seen that 50-pound bear and took a picture of it, it would the right picture, just like a hunting
Hmm.
picture. The right picture
The
makes
right
it look
angle.
big, makes it
Yeah.
look small, makes it look
Yeah.
horrible, makes it look good. So if the
right.
wrong person, just somebody out looking at flowers, seen that on that, took a picture of it, it would have been all over the place, and it just would
Yeah.
have looked bad. Period.
Hmm.
And somebody would screenshot that picture, and then the story would change,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Oh
just gets
yeah, guy.
worse.
Yeah, guy used 22 dogs to stretch his bear, and I seen it. Oh yeah, it gets bad, and it
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
matter. Hunt Arizona, all your groups, any groups, even your what's the other group? Uh, what's the hunting? The big one. I can't remember the name of it. Let me look here. I'm part of it. It's the one you could put pictures on and everything. Wild,
Oh,
go
go
wild.
wild.
Go wild.
Even on that, there's somebody there that works for Hasis or works for PETA or is an
Oh
animal
yeah.
activist that's taking pictures.
Hmm.
And they're 100%. I've been to those meetings. When they tried to outlaw, we went into those meetings and I sat in those meetings. And the stuff they said is just shit.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I'm just there covertly. I wanted to stand out and be like, you guys are dumb. That is absolutely 100% not true. But if they showed a picture of a lion that got killed and it looked whatever, and I'm the one that killed it, and I stood up and said, that's absolutely false. That lion was hit by a car, and we were weighing it to see for science. Nobody in that room would give a shit at
No,
all. They would
no.
they know in their head what they
Hmm.
seen in the picture. Period.
Yep.
It's hard
Yep.
if they're already going to those meetings and they're already feeling sorry for poor little lions and cats and until it drags off their 6-year-old
Yeah.
kid or their puppy,
Oh, they
they
still
won't
don't
believe
care.
you. No,
They
no,
no, they're still not going to believe the narrative, or they're going to keep believing the narrative. They're not going to believe anything you say because they have convinced themselves of the way it is. They're not open to be educated. They're not open to
nope,
be taught.
absolutely not.
So
They in these
Like
days,
I said, you like Rowdy said, he doesn't talk to anybody. Same with me.
yeah,
I don't talk to anybody. This is the most I've talked hounds with, other than 3 days ago in New Mexico with that guy.
we
Other than that, I don't talk.
as a whole, I feel like we all need to change the way we interact with people. Go, maybe have some days where we go out and take our nicest dogs and go sit at the feed store and you know let the kids play with the pups, stuff like that.
there needs
Just figure out something.
100% be more interaction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because without them seeing us in the public eye or the public seeing us, um, they all they have are those horror stories, false narratives.
Yep.
So maybe it's as we need to go to the park and do a barbecue and have a bunch of dogs staked out and a bunch of kids come out and play with the dogs in the park. I don't know,
You
something
know,
like that.
and
My,
what
my daughter said, this was several years ago. We were talking similar stuff about this, and she said, our little town here has a parade for Christmas and a parade for 4th of July. She said, why don't we put the dog box on the truck,
Yeah,
the buggy with the dog box on the trailer, load the dogs
yep,
up, and be in the parade. And
absolutely.
don't have to say, hey, we're hunters. Don't say nothing. Just ride through the parade. Some
Yep,
people, some might not, but you're there and you're showing them that you're not a bad guy. And
absolutely.
my daughter's friends, when they were younger, and they were just so scared because it's a pack of hunting dogs. They just
Yep,
knew they were going to get a limb tore off from these dogs.
exactly,
And
exactly. Because they believe the old freaking wise tales about you don't hunters starve their dogs and we don't feed our dogs before we go hunting and and I mean I've heard a bunch of different old
yeah,
wives' tales about hunting dogs. They're trained to be mean, crap like
yeah,
that.
as I
and
just spent $200 a day on dog food for the
yeah,
week.
and my best Jip sleeps with my daughter in her bed
Yeah,
almost
and
every.
see, and that's our problem is the non-hunters don't see that. They're only hearing the horror stories from the anti-hunters.
Right.
My
So
5-year-olds and 9-year-olds feed my animals. They feed my dogs.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I train my dogs. I'm not saying there ain't some dummies out there. There is some dummies out there that don't
but
feed their dogs and beat their dogs
there's
and
dummies in everything.
mhm.
So there's
Even in HACES, even in your animal
yeah,
activist group. I'm a private investigator. I can guarantee you if I took 10 of the top Humane Society United States people and investigate them, I'd get 8 of them that had something, or I would find
oh
something,
for sure.
or I'd find what they're
There's
doing on the side. Absolutely.
there's chomos or
Hmm.
like to wear girls' clothes.
Exactly.
Some dude put on a diaper and crawl around
Stuck
with
on
a
a
kid.
pacifier.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's those kind of people. That's how weird they
Yes.
are. So
You know, and that's the thing with guys like us. We see that kind of crap and just go, damn, that's crazy, and turn around and walk the other way. Where they see us and here they come hollering and screaming at us.
Hmm.
yeah,
I mean, we just mind our own business. 90% of the houndsmen I know just absolutely mind their own business and only basically talk to other houndsmen. That's it. And
yeah,
Most
because
most of
we're
your
so
houndsmen are
antisocial.
loners. Most of
yeah,
your
Yeah,
houndsmen. Now most of your dry ground houndsmen are hermits. I'm gonna tell you that. You know,
yeah.
but if someone's broke down on the side of the road, I was driving through, coming through a whole different part of the country, and I seen a guy I knew on the side of the road, and I turned around and I said, "Hey, man, you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm just on my phone." He's an old houndsman. He's a flip phone too. You know, just on my phone. I said, "All right." But
Yeah.
like you said, if they're running around with their wigs and their high heels, I don't give a crap.
Hmm.
Just
yeah,
like
Yeah.
that's
if
it.
I'm hunting in the woods, leave me alone. Don't worry
Right.
about it. You
I've
know.
said this ever. You do you.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I don't care what you do as long as it don't affect me. And I'm not going to affect you. And
Yep. I mean,
it's just,
so every chance I get, I try to do everything we can or everything I can to cast, hunters in a good light, right? So like even this past weekend, I was in the middle of running bobcats or in bobcat races, and I see this guy in an F-250. He's got his kids there out playing in the snow four wheeling, right? This freaking $60,000 truck, and he's out hitting mud holes in it in the middle of the mountains. He drives off in his mud hole and gets stuck in the ice. So I literally backed up, drove off a freaking bank, get down on where he was, and pulled him out. And he was a non-hunter, and he's asking all kinds of questions, and I tried to educate him.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I've done it 100 times. I let dogs go. Deer hunter drives by, archery deer hunter at that. So I'm already like, all right, here we go.
Ready for the fight.
I'm waiting for it. And he, they seen a bear up here. I'm like, yeah, I think my dogs are chasing it. I said, I think I'm on it. And I think I'm treed over here. I have one dog treed over here. The other dogs treed for a while and then they left. And I think it was two bears. But so I said, if you want to come in, come on in. I said, if it's a big bear, I'll let you shoot it. If it's small bear in the sow, I'm not going to let you shoot it. I said, but if it's a big bear, you could burn your tag. I don't want to burn my tag. And he did. He was an older guy. He followed us in. He fell down so hard. My son's like,
oh yeah,
damn. Because I said, let me go run in and see what it is. And I did. I ran in. I called my son radio. I said, hey man, it's just a small bear. If he wants to come see it, come check it out. But it's a small bear. And he did. He came in. He checked it out. He was like,
yep,
this is cool shit.
yeah.
Couple days later, I'm driving down the road and someone asked it, oh, are you hunting this mountain? I said, yeah, I got some dogs up on the hill right here. He goes, oh, we were going to hike it. I said, well, I'm chasing a bear right now. You want to hike it? But he had a bad taste about Houndsman. 30 minutes I sat there he said, my wife just had a dream that we got ate by a bear or something. I said, well, this is the mountain to do it because I catch a lot of bears here. I said, I've gotten hundreds of bears on this mountain. After about 20, 30 minutes, he goes, man, I didn't know that about hounds. Or I didn't, I thought you guys just killed everything. I said, man, I've treed probably 100 bear on this mountain, and I've killed maybe 4 or 5 in the last 10 years.
And over 10 years. Yep.
Yeah. I said, I don't, if I catch 30 bear a year, I'm probably killing most 5. Most. And I caught 23 sows in 1 year. That's all I caught.
Dang,
we ended up killing 3 sows because I felt that's just too many sows in a 5-mile area. Like, that's too many sows. And I don't like killing sows. I don't like killing cubs. I don't kill cubs, or small bears. My small bear is a 100-pounder. But sows, I try my hardest. And I even had a one-legged woman up on a mountainside with a big sow. And I'm just like, she's still young. I was watching her teeth. I'm like, she's not a young sow. She's not an old sow. She got 5 years left to breed. And she understood. I'm not a good guide at all. I'm like, you're going to shoot what I let you shoot. Yeah, I don't care, So, and if I don't get a bear, you come back next year. Come back when I'm free. I don't care. I just like to run my dog. Whether they're running coyote or bear or deer or elk or lion, I don't care.
I'm trying to get out of that coyote running business.
It's tough. It only takes one dog to drag everybody off. Even your best dog. If you're having a hard time catch, and all of a sudden there's a grace, I don't know. I don't got good dogs. I got shitty dogs, so I don't know how that good dog world works.
I'm a stranger to it myself.
Yep.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, guys, it's been 2 hours.
Yeah.
You didn't even get a call. I appreciate it coming on, Troy. I told you it's fun. I'll get you on again.
Enjoyed it. Yeah, anytime. And now I get to feed the animals and feed the dogs. And
I fed them early because it's going to snow. So I was out there breaking waters and adding waters, and I don't like frozen water. So.
Yeah.
But 63 bear. He treats 63 bear. Let me put this up real quick. 63 bear in Idaho. Between me and my wife and the other 3 guys that hunt, we harvested 2 bear. You'll see that a lot. And it may, if you can tree a bear or a lion, you can be picky. There's guides out there that will let people shoot anything for that money. I'm not that guy. Don't come to me if you want to. You can come to me all year and hunt with me. I'll charge you one price and we'll get you something. But I got guys from 3 years ago. I'm like, come up and kill a bear, man. Most of the time they'll leave you a big tip anyway. So
yeah. I guided elk hunts and deer hunts when I was fresh out of high school, and dealing with those whitetail hunters, they're some of the whiniest, crybaby and his frickin', they'll find any reason to bitch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I've
very
even watched.
picky about who I take out.
I say watch. I was even there when a couple of guys frickin' dipped out after shooting bucks and didn't pay the rest of their hunt price.
Always get that money before half
Yeah,
down, half and the other half when they show
yeah,
up, because they'll do
yep,
that. Take them. Okay, let's say you sell a line hunt. They used to be $3,000, $5,000. Now they're 6, 8, $9,000. Let's just say they're $6,000 line hunt.
yeah,
Get 3,000 down. Get 3,000. Get there, because if you don't, you kill a line that first hour because it's damn lucky. They say,
yeah,
well, why am I paying you another 3,000? You got to get that
yep,
money. So
exactly.
That
I don't
was us.
complain when there's
Yep,
6 days of hunting.
We were shot
yeah,
out. You know, I guided whitetail hunts too, and it's pretty bad.
it is, you know. And then
And
you get,
we,
they're always gonna. There's almost at every camp. There's that one guy that
Mm-hmm.
he gets too drunk. He's the first one to shoot one, and he gets drunk, and then, he's talking shit to somebody else, and then they're getting irritated because he's talking, and then it's always that group of 5 guys, and it's that one guy that no one liked in the group, but they brought him along because he's somebody's brother-in-law.
That's a fact. Yeah, you
So
got to be picky. I'm real picky who I take. Most of my guys are my clients from my private investigator business, or somebody
there you
they
go.
know. And when they know I'm mean, I'm not gonna lie. If you come hunt with me, I'm gonna give away a hunt, because I said when I got 1,000 subscribers I would. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna have to sign a waiver, a hurt feelings waiver, because to me, I'm a funny son of a gun. Some people,
To you,
not so much.
other people not so much. Yeah.
But hey, I think it's funny. It's funny to me. I'm not,
Right.
I'm respectful, but I'm just, you're, I'm just a funny guy. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
A funny guy. We'll see. We'll see if old Jared can handle it. And those other Texans, we got some Texans coming down. So,
Oh shit.
yeah.
well,
And I got a surprise for him. I'm gonna make him some tamales. I'm gonna make him some fried
Cool.
bread.
Oh,
Fresh tamales.
fried bread and bear tamales.
Mm-hmm. What do I got? I think I do have some bear. Be honest, canned up bear.
Yeah,
Take,
my
take
wife's been
that.
wanting me to take her and kill a bear for since we got together, and that's something I'm not a bear hunter. I've only ever shot one, and I didn't even use dogs. I shot it with a bow in
Mm-hmm.
like 2005. But I need to finally get off my butt and take her out. We've been trying to draw a tag here in Nevada, so maybe this year we'll get drawn. But I
Just
need
need
to
to come
find
to
someone to
Arizona.
take her.
Just
Well,
come
her
to
brother
Arizona.
lives over by Phoenix, so I guess
There
we
you
can make
go.
it a family trip.
I'm only 3 hours from Phoenix.
Dude, that's an average morning drive for me to go hunting.
Exactly. And I even got a little camper you can stay in. Might even have my
Oh,
log
damn.
cabin built for my guest by then.
Oh,
You too, Troy, whenever you want to come over and hunt some bear,
yeah,
lion.
yeah.
I always
I
got an
definitely.
extra plate.
I make a trip out west. I've got a little camper on the back of my Tacoma, and yeah, every Christmas I go for about 7 or 8 days. New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, make kind of a loop through there. But yeah, I'll just sneak over there and
Stop by, and from August to end of the year.
oh,
all
okay.
right.
October is a good time to hunt bear. August is my
Yeah.
western. Dogs are all wound up. Sometimes you catch them, sometimes you don't. They become Native Americans because they're always on the res.
Yeah.
Start pulling checks.
Oh yeah. I wish. So, all right, guys.
All
Well, I
right.
appreciate it.
Yep.
Probably time to get
Yeah,
off.
I'm gonna go
Troy,
get me some dinner.
you better go eat some dinner. Troy, thanks for coming on. It's a pleasure to have you.
Enjoyed it. Nice meeting you guys.
You too. I'll
Yes,
stay
sir,
in
you too.
touch. We'll keep in
Yeah.
touch. I got your number now.
Yeah, you do.
So,
That'll work.
Rowdy, always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
All righty, guys.
Appreciate it.
Later.
All right. Have a good night.
There we go. I thought we was only going to be an hour, but we're 2 hours. Well, Troy had some good stuff to talk about. Monday Night Live with Brett Vaughn. I don't know who we're having on. Maybe an old houndsman. I never remember the names. Otis? I don't remember. But he was on before and he had a lot of good information. So what else? I'm gonna try to do a live next Wednesday. I will be down in South Arizona trying to catch lions. So maybe I'll get a picture. I'd love to tree a jaguar. God, I'd love to tree a jaguar. Anyways, I am between Flagstaff and Glow. No, I'm in Sholo. That's where I usually at. So stay tuned. Check out my videos. I don't have one coming out this week because I'll be making them down south. My stinker chasing a coon one is just all I could throw together. Just stay on board. But what else? Stay tuned. You'll have some videos coming from lion hunting. And Monday night, Brett, SaveTheHuntColorado.com. Go make a donation so we don't lose it all. On that, I hope you had a good night. I'm glad everybody showed up, and I will see you next week.